Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Arlington Park here on Saturday. It is the 14th of August, 2021. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program from Arlington, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Let's look at the stakes action here on Million Day from Arlington. We're gonna look at races 7, 8, and 9, those classic Million Day races. The seventh race, it is the Beverly D Stakes. It's a grade 1 event going for a purse $400,000. Race for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 7 horses going to the Arlington turf course. The distance of ground of 1,900 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 3/16 on the Arlington Park turf course. 1,900 meters, 1 mile 3/16. My top selection, we're going to go with the number 2 horse here, Mean Mary. We'll go 2, 4, 6, 3 in the superfecta. 2, 4, 6, 3 super. Top selection 2 horse Mean Mary. 5-year-old mare by Scat Daddy. Grand Motion trains. Luis Saez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 4th of June here in New York at Belmont, yielding in her turf course, mile and a quarter in the New York Stakes. And the horse from by nose on the front and all throughout, it was a very tiring surface with the rain going right before post time, but she sat on the front and all throughout. She was hitting the wall late, but she held on to the victory. Might have taken a little bit out of her that day, but she still got the job done. Keep in mind, second place finisher was a next start winner. Coming here today off a little bit of refreshing on this little bit of speed favoring turf course, I think this horse could really run a good race. And some of these horses she faced last season aren't as tough as the horse she's facing today. The trip might be just a tiny bit too short, though. She's not the kind of horse that I think likes a mile and a half. So next start out, watch out for possibly maybe in the Flower Bowl in a few weeks, or something like that. Maybe the Weah at Belmont in the fall. But she definitely is, can definitely do wonders against these horses. 2 backs ran the Gallarette at Pimlico. Definitely a short trip of 1.16 for her, but she still got the job done, winning by a half length on the front and all throughout. Basically a paid workout, an all-around easy race there at 80 cents to the dollar. And then prior to that, in the Breeze Cup filly mare turf at Keeneland, 1.3/16, 7th of November. Finished 7 by 2 1/4 lengths there, and she just was with pace setters that day, which she was not used to in 2020, and she just did not like it, and she crumbled that day. It wasn't her day to win. And then prior to that, last August at Saratoga, 1.8 into Diana. The horse finished second by a neck. Rushing Fall got to her late, but she still ran her game race. 102 miles. She didn't go down without a fight there. And then prior to that, in New York at Belmont, 1 mile and a quarter in late June of 2020, winning by 5.5 lengths on the front and all throughout. She had everything her own way there. And then before that, won the Orchid very easily at Gulfstream, and then won the La Poviante at 1.5 miles at Gulfstream in early 2020, even easier there. She likes the longer trip. She's not getting it today, but I still think she could run well. 9 to 5 will use her. The 4-horse Santa Barbara is a very good horse. Most recently, she ran in the Belmont Oaks Invitational at Belmont, 1.25 miles, winning by a half length, closing up for nowhere after a stupidly troubled trip. She ran her hard out there in her North America debut. Prior to that, in the Pretty Polly Stakes at the Curragh of the 1.25 miles, she placed that day where she, again, a little bit of troubled trip, but she closed up well. Getting Lasix for the first time at 2 to 1. She definitely has a shot to win here, but can she keep up with Mean Mary, who basically floats on the front end? But to recount my selection for the 7th from Arlington, it's the Beverly D. Let's take the 2-horse Mean Mary, give kudos to the 7-horse Santa Barbara. We'll go 2, 4, 6, 3 in the superfecta, 2, 4 in your multi-race. The 8th race now from Arlington, it is the Bruce D Stakes. It's a grade 1 event going for a purse $300,000. Race for 3-year-olds here. We have 9 horses going 1 lap on the Arlington turf course, which is 1,600 meters around, or the mile trip here in the Bruce D, formerly known as the Secretariat. 1 mile. And I've been looking at races here on YouTube now for 12 years. Been into horse racing now for 19, 18 years, something like that. This might be one of the worst grade 1s I've ever seen in my life. Because this is basically a black type kind of stakes quality field. Not a grade 1 group of horses. With that being said, my top selection here in the Bruce D, I'm going to go with the number 8 horse, King of Miami. We'll go 8, 4, 2, 6 in the superfecta. 8426 Super, top selection 8 horse, King of Miami, 3-year-old Gelding by American Pharaoh. Larry Ravelli trains one. Jared Loveberry gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came in the American Derby here at Arlington, 1 mile 16th, 17th of June, July. The horse finished 10th by 7 1/4 lengths. He was with him early on, but he just couldn't keep up late. It was just a very weird trip for him. He should have got a better trip. Coming here today, maybe he's being a little bit more forwardly placed. I think that should suit him well, and I think the speed could really hold up in this race. Two back, he ran the Mystic Lake Derby at Canterbury, 1 mile on 23rd of June, and he won by head, closing it from mid-pack. He really split horses well to get the job done at 15-1, all around great race. And then most recently, before that at Arlington, 1 mile on optional 100, finishing fourth by 2 1/4 lengths. From the inside, he basically cruised on the front end. Just couldn't keep up late, but he still ran his heart out there. First start in quite a while. First start around 2 turns in quite a while, shall I say. And then prior to that, in Belmont, 6 furlongs in a main special weight 90,000, winning by a neck on the front and all throughout. He had a very easy race. I think he should get a good trip if he leads from the outside post, or at 8-1, or 5-1. Let's use him. To recap my selection for the 8th from Arlington, it is the Grade 1 Beverly D Stakes. Let's take the 8-horse King of Miami. We'll go 8-4-2-6 in the superfecta. The featured 9th race now from Arlington, probably going to be the bittersweet day with it probably being the final one, but the 9th race, it is the Mr. D Stakes, formerly known as the Arlington Million. It's a Grade 1 event going for a purse $600,000, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 10 horses going to the turf course, the distance of ground of 2,000 meters, or the distance of ground of 1.25 miles on the Arlington turf course, 2,000 meters, 1.25 miles here in the Mr. D Stakes. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 3 horse, Domestic Spending. We'll go 3-9-2-4 in the superfecta, 3-9-2-4 super. Top selection, 3 horse, Domestic Spending. This 4-year gelding by Kingman. Chad Brown trains. Flavion Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the Manhattan at Belmont here in New York, 5th of June, winning by 2 3/4 lengths. He closed up from nowhere on a turf course that does not play towards speed. You need speed from the inside, but he didn't have the speed, and he was drawn stupidly wide that day and got out wider. But for him to close up like he did, 106 by earning that day, career best race. That was a great run. Coming here off the 2-month refreshing, a little bit more than 2 months, I think he's sitting on a very good run. Two back at Churchill, 1st of May, mile on the 8th in the Turf Classic, winning by a neck that day. He sat back early. It took him a little time to get going, but he got there with Colonel Liam on the wire with a dead heat. He ran his heart out there. Not that, it was the best race to that point, but, he still had better things to come in the next start. And then prior to that, in the Del Mar, mile on the 8th in the Hollywood Derby, winning by head there. He closed up again from nowhere on a turf course. You need to have a good trip. He didn't have the best trips that day, but he got the job done against some very good horses in that Hollywood Derby. That race really came out strong in 2020. And then prior to that, in the Saratoga Derby at Saratoga, mile 3, 15th of August, he won by head, and again, sitting back early, slowly moved his way up. He got the job done. Keep in mind, the second place finisher, Gufo, won next start out, and again, is a decent horse. And then prior to that, he finished 3rd in the at Saratoga in the Hall of Fame, where he, again, a little bit wide, but he has one running style that's coming from nowhere. He should see a good trip here. He's trading very well, Saratoga, 6-5. That's the only thing that sucks about him, but he could definitely win on paper. Don't throw out the 9-horse Armory either. Most recently in the York Stakes at York, mile 5, 24th of July, he finished 4th by 1/4 lengths there, and again, he just never really showed up. He was a little lackadaisical that day, but if he runs a race like the Prince of Wales against those tougher horses, he could definitely win against these quality horses. And if he wins Oxley, he's going to win this race by a mile, but he's going to have to sit a little closer than he did last time out at York. But last season, they actually ran the horse to the Cox Place, where he actually placed behind Sir Dragonite, former O'Brien horse, and again, he just couldn't get there late, but he still ran his heart out there. He has some speed if they want to use it, but like I said, I would like to see him a little bit closer than he was at the York race last time out, where he was just a little bit too far behind. At 9-2, we'll use him on paper on the multi-race ticket. But to recount my selection for the 9th from Arlington, it is the Mr. D. Let's take the 3-horse Domestic Spending. Give kudos to the 9-horse Armory. 3-9-2-4 super, 3-9 in your multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.